Yarg!
Yarg.
And welcome to In the Workshed. We are half in the Workshed, half in the pirate ship today, I think?
Yeah.
But regardless, we have a special treat for you. We have a real special treat in store for you. So let us open up the treasure box and see what be inside.
Whoa.
All right, so Phil, you can
point that directly at my face.
You can hold it. All right, Skipper, what do we have here?
Well, this is the new Flintlock single-load 3D printed pistol that's been posted online in the last couple of weeks. And we saw it, and you owned a 3D printer, so you made one.
So this is a print from an individual by the name of CarnyRex. And obviously their Etsy and Instagram is going to be all over the place right here. This is an absolute treat. May I hold the pistol? He has a really great video out there about his construction of it and assembly, so we're not going to go over that. We're mainly going to look at this through the lens of like a LARP, mainly, because if you want a blaster for a Nerf gun or Nerf war, you can go out there and get, you know, a 500 shot Kronos or the 50 drum Titan. But this is mainly going to be for a very specific case, which is the pirate and fantasy LARPs we'll be going to in the next couple years. Yeah. Captain, talk about the construction. How does it feel in your hands?
This actually feels really good. It, as the kids are saying right these days, it feels a bit chunky. It feels big. It's heavy. Like it is a big prop, but it looks really cool. Usually with something like this, you don't expect it to actually work. That's the fun thing about it.
The one complaint that I do have is that I don't have small hands. I have like regular sized human hands, and this line right here that he has left in the shape, it kind of digs into my thumb and a little bit on this side and my palm. Like, I feel like that could have been rounded off a little bit better. All the rest of it is very nicely molded and sculpted. I just don't know why he left a sharp corner there.
My big concern was with 3D printing this is we do a lot of 3D printing for our Warhammer games or our other miniature games that we play, and sometimes those don't hold up really well under pressure. So that was my biggest concern with this, was is it going to hold up to the pressures that you see at a LARP? Is it going to be able to hook onto your belt and run around for a weekend and not break? And I think one of the reasons why I'm not that concerned is if it breaks, I can 3D print more. I am currently in the process of printing my third and fourth of these and just having a box of spare parts. When I go to a LARP and one of these pieces break off, I can just slap on a new one.
It does have this belt clip on the bottom, and I don't think I would trust it to not slide off if you're moving heavily, but like I also don't think it's gonna break. It's a pretty solid piece of plastic.
Firing this thing's actually pretty simple. You pull out the ramrod, you push down on the bolt slide, and you'll hear a little click. That means it catches in. You throw a Nerf dart down there. And just for roleplay wise, I like, re-ramming it down nice and tight. You cock back.
I think if you don't ram it down, you risk it falling out if you don't fire it immediately.
I did do that. I did load it, and because I tested this. We fired this thing probably 100 times, and I did go like this a couple times, and it flew out. Pull back the frizzen. I believe that's called the frizzen. Pull back the
hammer.
Lock that into place, and then you pull the trigger. And it shoots out. Skipper, you mentioned a really fun thing that you found, and I did too, and we both wanted to talk about it from a roleplay perspective.
Well, because of the way the trigger operates in this thing, there's actually it's almost a two-stage trigger. The hammer action goes first, and then it actually fires. So that does, I don't know if it was intentional, but it does simulate the Flintlock aspect where you light a little bit of powder here, and it takes it a second to get inside the barrel and actually shoot.
One of the cool roleplay things you could say would be you cock it back, your enemy's coming right at you, you pull the trigger and it doesn't go off. What are you gonna do with it? Boom! Then you shoot your person. So this thing just offers a lot of fun roleplay.
So the thing that I really like about this is I can actually roleplay using my powder horn now that I got a few months back. This is just a fun little prop, but you know what? It seems cool every time you do something like that. It really does, trust me.
Most of the games that you're going to be using this with, for the games that we looked at, that we intend to use this for, they want you to delay in shooting. They don't want you to machine gun shoot a bunch of shots in a row.
Yeah.
So having something like a powder horn, which you can find these online or at your local museum for really inexpensive, it's just a nice little extra touch of something to help role play your shooting.
Yeah, and every little bit, pulling back this, you know, setting everything in place, and, you know, using the ramrod, it's really fun to do.
Is that why you're doing it right now again?
Yes, exactly.
Get this man a dart. Ah! At the LARPs that we play at, you know, we really engage targets that are really close to us. You either have to like call damage, or you have to be able to really see your enemy when you shoot at them. So you can put a really big rubber band into this and get this thing firing pretty big. And CarnyRex has. He has a couple of videos on his Instagram where he puts this thing through its paces. But for our purposes at a LARP, I don't need a 100 FPS shot.
No.
I need it to hit a guy who's on the other side of the camera. And I can easily do that. It's surprisingly pretty accurate for what it is for a Jolt reskin. But yeah, for our purposes, this is absolutely perfect. It is chonky, and I like that though. I mean, these are supposed to be rare in the games that we're playing these at. They are supposed to be rare and expensive, so the fact that when you wield this thing around, it feels heavy. I'm not going to use this every single encounter. Right. If I see a zombie pirate, I'm not going to shoot him with one of these. I'm going to get him with my sword. But when the big bad comes to town, the tax official, you know, the East India Trading Company, when they show up, yeah, I'm going to pull out these and really give them 2 barrels full. So I think it's a great gun for the purposes that we'll be using it for, which is very limited engagements at targets that aren't very far away. Yeah, I think it's going to work well. Phil, you want to talk about maintenance with it?
Sure. One thing that we also noticed about this is because of the way that it is constructed, there is some maintenance that you need to do regularly with it, like maybe a couple times a day if you're really using it, just because screws will slowly loosen, and like you could put Loctite or one of the other like screw tightening operations in it to try to hold that together, but the having to do maintenance on the gun is period appropriate. So we probably won't. There's a lot of just take it apart and tighten something up and put it back together real quickly. That it's not easy, but it's not a huge pain in the butt either. It's a reasonable set of maintenance. There's like 2 screws here to take the firing mechanism apart. There's 1 screw here to take the barrel off if you need to replace rubber bands. It's not bad. And it gives you something to do to say, yes, I'm sitting here role-playing, working on maintaining my firearm collection.
I mean, in the games that we've played, you know, in Dead Legends or cowboy games, you know, you always sit there, or even in medieval games, you sit there and you like pretend to sharpen your sword, you pretend to wipe the blood off your sword, you know, you sit there and you sharpen your axe, and there's a lot of sometimes roleplay and in-game mechanics to do that. That's a perfect time to, oh, I can fiddle with my gun and get extra damage? Heck yeah, and grab some slightly genre-appropriate tools, sit there and tighten it up. So what is your final thoughts on the CarnyRex 3D printed Nerf Flintlock pistol?
So because of the amount of time and frankly filament that goes into one of these, like I'm not going to be wearing a brace of 6 of them. Oof. But they're neat, they're fun, and I like them. I'll want one.
Yeah, I want one as well.
I will agree with the 3D printing part of it was definitely a torment, but I think it's my 3D printer and my personal issues with 3D printing aside. But, you know, it took me a while to print it all, and I was messaging you guys and posting on places.
Yeah, we saw each step of the process.
It was like, oh god, I don't know how I'm going to do it all, and all these small parts. And then one day I just sat down, literally bit the bullet, and put it together, and within an hour, you know, I had it functioning, and I have fallen in love with it. It's very well designed. All the pieces 3D printed pretty well. Carney, my man, like you did great on this thing. I'm going to be printing more of these for my friends, and it's a great price. I mean, I don't know how you don't want to support this guy. He talked about potentially doing, you know, double barrels models, or even a larger one, and
I can't
rival
wait to see those. Yeah, I would want to get one of the larger guns that he gets if he does a musket-sized one. That would be perfect.
And I know he mentioned that he might be eliminating the hexagonal barrel. Please don't. It looks so cool. I love it. I mean, I know people want smooth boards and wants them, you know, all circular, but please don't. This looks so cool and period. I love it.
This is just the coolest thing to be showing off when you're when you're in costume and everything like that, and it tucks right into your belt. Like, it is just so much fun. I can't say it any other way. This thing just is fun. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Go buy one. At our local LARPs, this is going to be perfect. We have a couple fantasy LARPs we want to try this at. We have a local pirate LARP we want to go try this thing at. So I know you mentioned that other people are in the process of printing these as well.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they're getting out there. People are seeing them. People are using them. People are printing them. I cannot wait to see these on the battlefield.
Me neither.
Have a brace of these, like you said, or have a line of men all lined up with their pistols. I cannot wait. I want to see duels. I want to see men dueling with these. So until we see you next time, raise the Jolly Roger, and we'll see you on the next in the Workshed. Ah!
That wasn't loud.
Okay. You gonna do anything else?